Alrighty guys, so in this video, I'm going to be showing you how you can build the safest base in Sons of the Forest, or at least a super duper safe, because the only way you can make this base any safer is to build a wall all the way around the lake, just so that enemies can't get onto your base during the winter. But yeah, other than that, this base is extremely safe. As a matter of fact, it's impossible for enemies to get to your base during the spring, summer, and winter, fall seasons. So yeah, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you how I built it. Now, this is not going to be a step-by-step building guide on how to build this. I'm just going to be giving you some tips and sort of telling you how I built it. I'm assuming you know the basics of building. If you don't know the basics of building, I would recommend you watch my essential building guide, which goes over the very basics of building so that you know what you're doing for building pretty much anything else. But yeah, in this video, I'm going to be showing you pretty much how you build a water base, or a base on water. And yeah, just give you some tips along the way on just how I built this. So yeah. So first things first here, the most important thing is that it needs to be winter, because we're actually building, you know, on top of ice here. So if the water's not frozen, you can't really do this. So just, yeah, sleep until it's winter, or wait until it's winter naturally. If you didn't know, you can sleep multiple days in a row, and then it'll change the season. For normal mode, seasons last about 5 days. So yeah, you can sleep until it's winter. That way you can build this kind of base. But yeah, as for like which lake you want to build in, you can build in any lake you want. Although I do like the lake that I built in here. I'll pull my map out so you can see. This lake right here is a great lake. I like it. I like the location of it and the stuff that's around the lake. So yeah, although just keep in mind, you can build in any lake you really want, as long as the water freezes. That's all that matters. Okay, so the next step to building a base like this is to get your logs over here. Now, the way that I recommend doing that is by building the zipline system, which the way you do that is by putting a log in the ground, and then putting another log in the ground by the forest where you're getting your logs from. Which, if you're building at this lake, that would probably be over here. But just put a log in the ground and then connect these two logs by a zip line, and then you can cut some trees down and just send the logs to your base. Now, if you can, I would recommend you take advantage of a log duplication technique, which I'm using this one right here, which is where you put a log cabin blueprint on the ground, and then when you come up to it, as you can see, I'm pressing C right now and I'm getting an X. If you look at the right spot, there we go, you can just duplicate logs. Just like so. Like, you can literally get as many logs as you want, and then once you get as many logs as you want, you can put them on your zip line and then send them on down to where you want to build your base. Now keep in mind, you can't build blueprints on the ice, which is why I have the blueprint over here instead of actually on the ice by my base. But yeah, that is how you get logs to your building location. Alright, now the next step is to build your foundation, which instead of actually building it like this grid for your foundation, you don't actually have to do that, or where you have the logs in the middle here. You can take them out and still place your floor pieces down, just like so. I don't know why I always see like building tutorials where they say like, oh, you need to have the grid, you know, where it's a bunch of squares next to each other. You don't need to do that. You can build rectangles, just big rectangles, and then you're good to go after that. But you can make the foundation however big you want. I'd make it bigger than you think you need to, because when it's not winter, you can take logs out of your foundation to make your foundation smaller, but you can't place logs down after it's winter. So just make it as bigger than you think you need to in winter. That way you can always make it smaller when it's not winter. But yeah, foundations are pretty simple. Just go ahead and build your big rectangles, put your floor pieces on, and you're good to go. Now after that, you want to build the actual house part of your base, which is, I mean, it's fairly simple. I went with a very, very basic design, a 2x4. I went with 2 wide because I wanted a peaked roof, just like this. If you built it 3 wide, you would have a flat spot in the middle of your roof. So since I wanted a peaked roof, it was either build it 4 wide or 2 wide. So I went with 2. But I want to stress that you can build this however you want. You can even build a foundation however you want. You don't have to copy what I did. I'm just using my base as inspiration to build your own. But you could do it like 3x3, 4x4, 2x2, 2x4, 3x4, however big you want to build your base. You can do it that way. So yeah, I mean, there's not many tips I can give you here. Just walls are super simple. Get your logs and then just place them just like this, in a vertical fashion, 6 high. To build doors, by the way, in case you don't know, build your wall up 6 high just like this, and then get your axe out, and then you can actually just whack this here like left click. I don't want to do it because I want this wall to stay solid, but you would take 6 or 5 sections out here and leave the top one, and then you would get 3 half logs, and you would be able to place them in there, and then you would have a door just like so. But yeah, once your walls are built, you want to build your struts next, which are these, or the things that go across here. Now to build these, you need to actually just here, I'll show you outside actually. Okay, so to build your so to build your struts here, it's pretty simple. Just lay a log down like this, and then you'll get the animation to bring it up like this. And then you would get yourself another log, and then you would want to cut it in half. Just like so. Take that log, throw it up under here, and then you can take this log out. Pretty cool. You want to do the same thing on the other side? Or actually, no, you don't need to do the same thing on the other side. And then if you don't want this gusset here, you also don't need this either. You can take that out, and then there you go. You have struts. It's very simple. That's probably the most complicated part of building a house. Oh my god, of course. Hold on, let me take care of these guys. Okay, so back to what I was saying here. Yeah, that's how you build your struts, and then after that you can build a pitched roof, which is super simple. Just put a like half log in the middle of your strut, and then you can put the logs down from each side, and then put your half logs on top of them. So that's how you build the actual house part of your base. Now after you build that, I would recommend you build some railing around your base, which is really simple, just a half log with a full log on top of it. It just makes your base look really nice and just kind of style, you know. Now the next thing to actually building a base like this is we want a good way to get from the shore to our base without actually having to swim through the water. And that's super simple. Just use a zipline system. The reason we don't want to use a bridge or a rope bridge is because enemies can run across them, I believe. And to make this base the safest base, we don't want enemies to be able to use our way of getting to our base. So yeah, build a zipline and just you build this little structure right here, 3 logs. Yeah, that's simple. But yeah, get your zipline out then shoot it at this log, and then we want to shoot it somewhere over here. Now you can do it like I did and just build this little awning thing in front of your door and connect it there, or you can, like, I don't know, make a dedicated thing or archway for it like I did here. You can do it either way you want, and then just connect your zipline to that so that you can get from your base to the shore super easily. And if you're wondering what this is for, it's for actually getting back up on your base from the water. Like if you fall into the water, you can't actually climb up this. Even though I got the ramp here, like the half log here, you can't climb up it. So you want to shoot a zip line here and then shoot it into the water. Then you can take this zip line from the water and get back up onto your base. This is quite essential because, I mean, if you don't want to if you fall in the water, you don't want to have to actually like go over there and then take the zip line over. That would be very inconvenient. So yeah, do that on both entrances here, and yeah, then you have a nice entrance way to your base. If you want, you can build a bridge. Bridges are nice, they look nice. Then that would also allow your companions to get over here. But I mean, this is the safest base after all, so we're not using bridges. But yeah, once you have yourself a foundation, a house on your foundation, and your railing that goes all the way around your base, and a really good way of getting from your base to the shore, you're nearing the finish line here. Now all we got to do really is just add some lights, our shelves, our bed, and all our collectors outside. Now if you want to, you could build a big enough house to have all your collectors on the inside of the house. I didn't really want to do that, plus I quite like this, you know, having all the collector stuff outside. But yeah, you can build it however you want, but just place your collectors. I have some bone collectors here, stick collectors, a rock collector, and then I have, this is the important one, have some log collectors on your base, and then fill them all up in the winter. That way, oh my goodness. Okay, well, fill your log collectors up in the winter. That way you have logs ready to go in all the other seasons. Although if you do need to bring logs to your base in the summer, in the seasons where the ice is not frozen, you could do that really easily by building this zipline system. And instead of building it on the ice, you can just take, come on, give me the log. Okay, back to what I was saying. I just took care of this guy right here. But to get logs to your base in the summer, you just want to build a zipline system that goes from your base here, which you can do that by just placing a log in the ground here, and then putting a log wherever you're getting your logs from. So in case you can see that log like right there where the tip of my axe is. Just run a zipline from here and just shoot it right up there, and then you can run this zipline over to the forest where you're getting your logs from, right here. And now you can just take any logs you want and throw them on the zipline just like so, and they will go over to your base where it's floating. And there you go. And that's how you get logs on your base. And yeah, I mean, I pretty much covered everything on how to build the safest base. Build it on the water. Don't use bridges. This is how you build a floating base right here. Just make sure the lake is frozen, and then just build whatever kind of base you want. I think I covered pretty much everything. So yeah, I mean, build your drying racks and all that stuff. I mean, you can do it however you want to. However you want to. This video should just give you the information that you need to know to actually build a floating base. Now, if you want your companions to be over here, I wouldn't worry about Virginia. Virginia, you can keep her on the shore. She can help protect your base when it's wintertime. But Kevin, if you want Kevin to be at your base, just tell him to follow you. Follow me. And then you can get him to follow you onto your base. Kevin, what are you doing? Come on. And then just get him onto your platform. Come on in here. Just like that. Nope, nope, nope. Come on. Over here. Come on. Get off the rail. Okay, you know what? That's good. That's good enough. You're on the base. And then just tell him to stay here. There you go. That way Kevin will always be on your base. But yeah, I pretty much covered everything I think you need to know to build the safest base in Sons of the Forest. As I said, the only way I could see this base getting any safer is if you built a wall that goes all the way around the lake. That way enemies couldn't get to your base during the winter. But I mean, that would take a long time. So, I mean, you can do that totally if you want to. That way it's 100% safe year round. But yeah, this is the safest base. Now you know how to build it. Drop a like down below if you got any value out of this video. And I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.